Hey Dave! Everything has a story. I should just tell stories for the rest of eternity because of so many that I've journaled and know. Back in 2013 when I did the little index card snippets project, I would journal moments throughout the year and put them in that globe over there and then put them all in this little journal at the end of the year. I actually changed that to reading the journals back and journaling the small moments. Eventually it just became way too much of a time commitment for journaling, so I started putting them in my grandmother's travel journal that I still have. This little journal has its first entry on April 2nd, 2011, and it ends somewhere in the middle of 2017. They're really like little windows into so many things I've already forgotten but highly fuel me and I feel appreciation for so much. There's only so much room in my head for stories. A few core stories remain and feel the others, so here's a favorite fishing story of mine. Forgive me if I've already told this in a video before. As per usual, we usually tell stories that we like a lot. At age 9 or 10, maybe being childlike and ignoring all the posted wood signs that we had around Lake Marge in Pennsylvania, my dad and I loved to take stream walks. We would follow the stream that was water flowing out of Lake Marge. Eventually, this stream actually crisscrosses the stream that's flowing out of Lake Sophia. So at this spot, we trade paths and we trek upstream. Miraculously, we heard splashes and commotion in this section of the stream. As we came to find out enough of investigating these splashes, the stream contained a handful of largemouth bass that must have fallen over the causeway water flow up at the Lake Sophia and fallen down the stream and somehow survived in this bottom section. So being childlike and creative, my dad and I, instead of moving on, decided to define ourselves as a weird and helpful contribution to these bass and try to catch them with our hands and return them to the lake. Of course, splashing, commotion, and getting fairly soaked got involved. But we had aqua shoes and we were okay. We were dressed fine for this. We actually had to build a couple dams of rocks within the stream to trap the bass well. And then when the bass would try to go through the rocks, we would snag them with our slippery hands, try to lip the fish. Eventually, we got a hold of each bass, possibly in like one or two at a time. We carried them upstream, oxygenating them in the stream water every once in a while so they didn't die and they could breathe oxygen, and then release them back into Lake Sophia where the water would initially flow out. I think of this story every time I go fishing, it feels like. It's really important, and it sort of planted in me some kind of seed for appreciating nature or just wanting to creatively engage with nature. It's an experience I didn't set out to create myself, it just sort of occurred. Stories like this really fuel me to want to not only create interesting experiences for myself, but enjoy things that I don't expect by choosing to show up to places. The best things that happen to you are often the things you never expected. All the more reason to create experiences. Finding oneself as a contribution in some ways is a good way of keeping score. It's a good way to measure value. Stories really fuel me, Dave. I guess that's why I don't want to forget so many of them. I can't capture them all, but I can definitely still capture and connect dots between them. They matter to me. Hope you're having a great day, Dave. I'll see you Thursday.